Korean cinema is well known for its intense films and how it constantly pushes its boundaries. As in Kingdom and #Alive, we will see how over the period of history, why these two pieces of film have portrayed violence in such an extreme way. The Japanese occupation of Korea arguably started this roguery and invention that we see today. During the occupation, no films were allowed to be produced, and the ones that were either destroyed or published as Japanese propaganda. Once the Japanese surrendered, signalling the end of World War II, Korea was finally liberated, divided but at last free from the occupation. This freedom was cut short, however, due to leaders enforcing laws of censorship, preventing films to be made freely. This in turn encouraged Korean filmmakers to become intuitive and provide many hidden meanings in their work. In today's world of Korean cinema, we have Kingdom, based in feudal Korea, showing a zombie apocalypse scenario in great violence and gory detail. This show highlights power struggles, a link to the struggle of Koreans during the occupation from Japan, and the Japanese samurai as invaders threatening the kingdom's sovereignty, which is saved by a foreign power, the zombie virus, which also becomes an enemy similar to the leaders of Korea at the time. Violence is no light word when describing the show either, as it has some of the most brutal scenes I have ever seen in any type of show or movie. Made all too realistic, it really engages you to the intense scenes and gory violence. In the first episode of Season 2, we see an extreme display of violence when the prince mounts a defence against a never-ending sea of infected. The level of detail in the shredding of zombies as cannons fire into the lines of infected is nothing short of spectacular. Something that many films outside of Korea don't do is bring children along into the violence. And in this scene specifically, we see an infected child bite at the leg of a soldier, who then proceeds to stab the child, showing how brutal and that nobody is left out of the violence of Korean cinema, reinforcing the aspect of extreme violence. This also shows how real the scene feels, as in a situation of life or death, there is no hesitation and that brutal choices need to be made, just showing how brutal the reality is that the group are in. #Alive is a movie of loss and despair, putting the protagonist through a zombie apocalypse by himself, cut off from all human contact in his apartment block. At least that is what he thought. #Alive covers many dark aspects of life mentally, with our two protagonists having attempting suicide but still striving to survive the zombie apocalypse. The scene that we are going to cover in this film is one of great disturbance. Our two protagonists are helped by an unknown man and given food and water. However, this unknown man laced the food, causing the protagonist to pass out. We then see Kim Yoo-bin tied up in a room with the masked man's infected wife. The man proceeds to loosen the rope that is preventing the zombie from eating Yoo-bin. The screams of Yoo-bin awaken Oh Jun-woo, who pleads to the man to stop what he's doing. The man refuses and lets go of the rope. This leads to Jun-woo frantically attempting to save Yoo-bin. In the end, the duo managed to unleash the man's wife onto him, having him be mauled. Even after what he did to the two, they still show mercy and shoot him in the head. A very disturbing and brutal scene, bringing emotion and questioning morality in the situation that was presented. Overall, we can see how much extreme violence revolves around these two pieces of cinema, and how much of an impact they have on the viewer. When understanding the history behind Korean cinema, you begin to realise how amazing it is to have these films now, and that the sacrifice of previous Korean filmmakers wasn't in vain. Korean cinema will never cease to amaze me with how far they push to create films of greater violence and build so much emotion behind it.